live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome back to Taylor's Detroit Sports Postgame. It is Wednesday, April 29th, 2015 at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Have any Detroit sports opinions? Call in at 646-478-4837. That is 646-478-4837. Also, you can text message me at 231-429-3668. Make sure you give us your name, city, and state as you either call in or text message me. I am simulcasting on Ustream.tv and on Taylor's Detroit Sports Show BTR Postgame, and on Google Plus Hangouts on air. Tonight, once again, I have my co-host Edward Lawrence Smith. How you doing, Edward?
Doing fine, Taylor. Pleasure to be joining you again. Had fun last night, so I figured, hey, let's go for round 2 tonight.
Let's do that. Gonna talk a lot of Wings, and then we're gonna fit in as much Tigers as we can. Game 7, the Atlantic Division semifinals, I like to call it, the Eastern Conference quarterfinals for real. Lightning shut out the Red Wings 2-0. This game should not have occurred, like we mentioned last night. Edward, break it down.
Well, basically, it's something I akin to, something that I have seen time after time again over the years, where the Red Wings, they seem to be the team that pressures the most, seems trying their very best to outplay, outlast, shoot the most goal shots at the goalie, trying to do whatever they can, but yet somehow, some reason, they come out on the losing end. And that's exactly what we saw here. They massively outshot Tampa, but yet it was Tampa who was able to get the scoring done. And I give credit to Ben Bishop because he faced that barrage and was able to do a slightly better job than Mrazek did. But Mrazek, tried his best, but unfortunately just not enough. And so here we are yet again. It's now 6 years and counting now since we last removed from the Stanley Cup final appearance, and we've had yet another early round exit in the playoffs. Disappointing, yes. Surprising, no.
Right. That also the worst part of that is that is the third first round exit in 4 seasons. How painful is that?
Oh, it's troublesome, very troubling, very discouraging to see. You expect to see that was a lower tier, mid-level, type of team that's scratching to find its way. Basically, like the St. Louis Blues, right? That's something you would see out of them. Not the Detroit Red Wings, especially with the brand that they have built, the franchise has built themselves into over the last, 20, 25 years or whatever. You're not expecting to see first, second round exits. You're seeing them either making deep playoff runs or competing right up there for a Stanley Cup title. You don't see this, and now to see this now for a third time in the last 4 years, very troublesome and really something that needs to be stopped and stopped quickly.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There needs to be some serious changes made in the off season, and as you mentioned, six straight years, 6 straight seasons without a conference final appearance. That's just not good enough. And speaking of those 1-0, 2-0 games that the Wings keep losing. Despite outshooting their opponent, those are the kind of games that irritate me, because they have happened to. I have seen it happen over 100 times the last 6 seasons, and that's it. Here's the thing: the shots on goal don't even matter if you don't get the job done and you lose in regulation in a regular season game or a postseason game. It doesn't matter. If you don't get it done, you're just a failure, period.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. For some reason, not able to capitalize or just finish it. whatever it is, something always keeps happening where they can't find a way to break through, get through that line of defense, or break through to that one goalie. It's frustrating on an insane level, and it speaks to how, A, you're not getting the job done by your coach to drill into these players' heads, and B, maybe, your general manager not providing you with the right enough talent to help break through. I don't know, but it's beyond frustrating, and I'm used to it by now because I've seen this type of things. That I've seen it long before, like 08, 09. I remember seeing it back in like 06, especially 01. When they got ousted by the Kings in the first round. So I'm used. I guess you could say I'm numb to seeing these kind of performances now. But it's at this point, it's beyond enough. It's beyond tiresome. Okay, put a stop to these as much as what we can, please, guys.
You tell him, Ed. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, those kind of games where the Wings outshoot their opponents and lose like 2-0 or 2-1 or 1-0 or whatever. Please stop those. Score more goals.
Told game one the way he did because I'm like, I'm so used to that having us. Well, it reared its ugly head again in the worst opportune time, Game 7 with receiving on the line.
And again, that should not have happened. The series should have been done in 5, not 7 or 6, 5. But that builds up to the frustration level where they get eliminated, and that's just that's where they come unglued step by step, and that teaches them a hard lesson.
You would think, but after them going through this yet again, I don't know. Are they so used to it now that they're like, oh, okay, And if so, that's like the wrong mindset to have. This should anger you. This should lit a fire under you to where you got to do something, make a drastic change if need be, but you got to stop having these kind of results in these playoff outings. I know that's easier said than done, but come on now. Just stop.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 periods of this game at Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Pleasant, and they were making there were a few plays where they were making one too many passes when they could have just shot the puck more times, and if you you can't score a goal if you don't shoot the puck.
That's why they call them rebound chances. Just go after it a little bit more. Stop being so passive. Don't be trying to play the perfect game. There's no perfect game you can play, especially in Game 7. Game 7 is desperation at its finest. You got to be playing like an absolute berserker maniac. You got to have that type of mindset when you're in a Game 7. Not though, okay, let's focus on getting through this zone the right way, or setting up this blocking zone, or whatever. No, it's called all-out insane action.
That's true. You got to shoot the puck, period. Just keep shooting it. Don't pass it too much.
Right. Even if you get one blocked or whatever, it goes wide. Don't just keep going at it, and somebody can produce a rebound opportunity. Somebody will miss their assignment, leave an open net.
Which leads me to...
It's hot. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff like that. It happens. Especially when you needed to have it in Game 7. Help create your own opportunities. Don't wait for them to come to you.
Right, and don't hope for luck either, which leads me to another tip. Shoot more accurately. If you shoot more of your shots too inaccurately, then you're not even getting enough shots on goal, and you're not even scoring, and more importantly, you're not scoring goals.
And that's so weird when you have some talented dudes on here that knows a thing or two about handling a stick, the puck, and how to shoot it. I don't know if that's on the coaching staff. It has to be on the coaching staff, at least somewhat, when your players are not accurately shooting enough or targeting the net enough, they'll produce better scoring chances.
That's true. Speaking of the coaching staff, Mike, let's touch on Mike Babcock. One of the mistakes that he has made that really pisses me off is his line changes at the wrong times, which leads to successful opposing scoring chances when the opposing team scores on like an odd man, like an unanimous odd man rush.
Odd man rush whenever you do it at the wrong time. Exactly. Babcock, for some reason, has kept insistent on doing this, and time at a time keeps biting him in the butt. And of course, it did it again tonight at the West End opportune time. When you're already down a goal, you do it again, and that was when it officially put the game out of reach. So, I like Babcock. I like the intense, the sternness that he brought. I thought he was a talented coach. Still is a good coach. Was able to bring us a cup, get us to a couple finals matches, but it's clear now. It's beyond clear now. With this first round exit the last 4 years, you haven't been to a conference final in 6 years. You haven't won a cup in 7 years. Mm-hmm. It should be time now for a change. I know, it's kind of weird to think that some fans will say, "What do you mean? What is a cup?" Yeah, that was 7 years ago.
Yeah,
okay?
That's distant.
You got to move on. Sometimes it's time when it's time to move on. It's time to move on. No matter how much you may like the coach or like what he may bring to the team. Sometimes you got to know when it's time to move on. Otherwise, you're going to keep going through dry spell, and sooner or later, than you think it or look at it, it's going to be 10 years without a cup. I don't want to wait that long for another Stanley Cup.
Yeah, me neither. Nobody wants to wait that long. Otherwise, they're going to be so sick they're going to die. Yeah, you mentioned talent. But I want to point out that there's a difference between talent and consistency. Yes, they have talent, but when you're inconsistent, then the talent doesn't matter, and especially on how accurate and inaccurate your shots are, as if you're the Detroit Red Wings. And as you make
case in point, your captain Kevin Zetterberg, did they call or mention his name even once at all for this series? Literally, maybe an assist or two, I don't know, but it speaks to my point. He's been a ghost, and the same thing can be said for Tampa. Stamkos had 0 goals this entire series. You would think if you play the Tampa Bay Lightning and Steven Stamkos does a single goal, you play that and forget that. Even a 5 or 6 game series, you would think you would beat them, right? Wrong.
I know, and that's just pulling the trigger on the self-destruct semi-automatic right there, and that's not nearly good enough. You just answered one of my other upcoming questions here. This is Mike Babcock's last game as a head coach for the Detroit Red Wings, of course, and if so, where will he be heading, and who should be their next coach? That's my next question.